Hello my friends, my name is Roman and this is an 11th tutorial about JavaScript, and today we will talk about type conversion. Generally in JavaScript any type of value can convert to another in the places where JavaScript needs it. Let's look at some example. For example, we have here a number. Let's add some string, for example cent. So we will get here 50 cents, and if we will check it to a type of, and we see that it's string. Also, if we want to divide, for example, 3 to some string, for example 1, we will get not a number, because it was converted it to a number, but it hasn't any matches to a number, so it showed that it's not a number. But if we will write here, for example 1, we will get here 3. And also here we see this conversion in JavaScript. As we saw in the previous lesson about null and undefined, we saw that this double equal, it has a name, abstract comparison. It always compare two different values and convert each of the some of them to equals to the same as another. For example, we have here a number and a string. Let's look. We have true, and because it was converted to the number here, so everything works. I want to show you some just in this case also. Let's compare 2 with 3 equals. It has a name strict comparison, so it was just abstract with a type conversion, and this is a strict comparison. And if we will check here the same values, we'll get false, because number 2 and string 2 are not the same. Okay, so we saw these two examples, and let's also check another values with another types. How do they convert in JavaScript? I will show you a few examples. For example, 0 with abstract comparison to false gives us true. Number 0, it gives us also true. So here I will show you next few examples. You will see how it always converts. So let's convert, for example, as 2 compare to the true, we'll get false. If we will compare empty string to the false, we'll get true, because it converts here to 0, and 0 and false converts also to 0, so they find the same type and compare it as the same. And here I want to show that practical examples that null and undefined never compare to nothing. Like let's look at this example. Null to the false, like so. Because we can logically we can think that it converts to 0 and it's also 0, but it will give us false. The same if we will convert it to the true. We have got also false, so we have here the same result. And undefined, let's convert it and check to the false. We have also false, and let's do it with true. We have false, so we have 4 cases with and in never it compare to the true or false with null and undefined. But it's very interesting that null and undefined they are comparable to each other. They are equal. We have true with this abstract comparison. So it's very interesting this behavior of JavaScript, that null and undefined they are the same. Okay, we saw this example, and let's look at the example conversion. Explicit conversion, example of the explicit conversion. Let's imagine we have some number, some string. So we can write a function number and write in the argument this string. We have got the 23, and if we will check it type of, okay, like this, it's a number, but before it was a string. The same, we have a function for string to convert number to a string. Let's look at this example. We have string function, and as argument we can write here 23. Okay, let's write here 54, and we have here a string. We can check it by type of again. So it's a string. At the same function we have a boolean. So log just write here boolean, and for example convert 1. What we'll get? We have get true, and if we will write here 0, it will convert it to false. So we see that it's a boolean type. Okay, it was example of the explicit conversion. Also JavaScript is a very good shorthand for conversion. I will show you this example, and it's very useful. If you want to convert a string to a number very quickly. For example, we have 12, for example. So now we have type of, we have a string. We can add just plus in the beginning, and we see that now it gives us number. So just plus before, very quickly and very nice way to do it. Convert a string and number to a string. Also we have let's write from this, let's write from the beginning type of, and in braces let's write, why I wrote it in braces, just to because it should to check type of this whole expression. Let's write here 12, and we want to convert it to a string. We just write here 12 plus empty string. You see, it's a string. But if we will not do it, so it's just a number. So you see, very easily and very useful shorthand. And the same we have for to make some value for a boolean. So let's imagine we have 0. Type of 0 is a number, but to do it, to convert 0 to a false, to a boolean operator that means false, we just can write it like this. You see, we have boolean, and it's very note that we should use double this operator, because this unary operator, because in the beginning, as you remember, it converts as not in the opposite. It's like converts to true, and then converts this again to the opposite. Okay, so we have here, we can also look at what we have. What do we have here? We have here false, and if we write it like this, we have true. Okay, let's look at another example, how we can convert with a Radix. Let's create some variable num, and 23 assign to this volume. So we can do it with this. Let's look. So here we write our variable and the method toString, and as an argument we write just a system or a Radix. For example, we want to convert 23 to a binary. When we here see the result, let's write here 3. We have here this Radix. If we will write, if we want to convert 23 to the octal, let's do it. Let's do it like this. We should to write 0, string 0 plus, and then this variable with a method toString, and here is operator write 8 because octal is has a 8. What is a problem? Like this. Yes, and now we have an octal number, this one. And if you want to hex, convert it to hex, let's do it as we do before, but 0 and add x plus the same num to string and here write 16. This way we'll get our hex system, hex number. Also, we can convert false to string. And as we understand, it will give us just a string, false. So type of it's a string. Okay. And now what if we have some what if we have some string with many numbers, with some numbers and with another words in it. Let's look at, for example, 25, example, pixels. Okay. For it to do it, to convert. Okay, we can do it in this without making variable. We can use parse int. It's very useful function, parse int, and as argument we can write here our number, our string, where we should to retrieve the number. Parse int is not defined. We should to write it from the lowercase. Okay, we have here just 25, so we can write here some whatever. We will also always get this our only number. And let's check what we will have here. If we have after the some words, some letters, we have a number, it will not calculate it as a number, so it's only gives the first. Also we can write here as a second argument, for example, decimal Radix for it. Let's again write here pixels. We have also 25, and we converted to the integer, and let's convert it another parse float, another string that we want to convert to floating point number. Let's write here 20. Let's write here 2 and 5m. For example, what we will get, we have got only 2 because it wrote just floating point number converted. Let's write it like this. Yes, now it's correct. Floating point number. It was everything about strings, numbers and booleans, but I want to tell you a few words about object converted to the wrapper object. How can we check that JavaScript converts some? Let's make num and convert it to and write here p51. And what if we want to get some value? Okay, how can we understand that it was converted to the object automatically? We can apply to as you remember, when we want to get access to the value in a property, object property, if it's not assigned, we have got undefined. So let's write here number and some fiction property, something, now something, and we have got undefined. Undefined we have got because here we have it was converted to the object, and then if we hasn't any property in it like this something, so we have got undefined. It's just example, and just remember that only two in JavaScript there are two exceptions to the object wrapper. They haven't that some data types primitives that hasn't wrapper object are null. Let's copy this to check. Let's apply to it null. You see we have here an error, and the same for undefined. Let's copy that, and we have the same type error. So it's only two exceptions, but in another cases we can, let's write here, write it as a string, we have the same, or for example false or true. We always have here undefined. For today, that's all that I wanted to share with you, this information. Thank you for watching. I'm very glad that you saw this tutorial. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next lessons. Bye.